When it comes to life, there are some mistakes that we all just sort of know. I mean, things like not setting an alarm before you go to sleep at night means that you're not going to get up to go to church on Sunday, or never go grocery shopping when you're hungry because you'll inevitably buy the entirety of the store, including the double stuffed Oreos. And no matter how desperate you may be, there are not singles in your area looking to meet you. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But what about the more professional stuff here? The stuff that nobody teaches you about being an adult, like having a tax professional actually file your taxes can get you more money back at the end of the year. Balancing a checkbook is actually still pretty relevant in 2022. And believe it or not, there are still some super big mistakes that can be made when you look at buying wheels and tires. I'm Dustin, Dusty.co on Instagram, and today we're talking about a few of the mistakes that even the professionals make when it comes down to buying wheels and tires for the second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh or even eighth time. Let's do it. And if you're looking to learn more about wheels and tires, don't forget to click the little subscribe button that you can find down there. Just do it. If you're looking to pick up a set of wheels and tires, or maybe a lift kit for your truck, you can check us out at customoffsets.com. We've got brands like Archon and Fuel and TIS and Nitto and BDS and all sorts of stuff in stock, on the shelf, in the warehouse, ready to ship to you guys in like 10 days. It's pretty awesome. Also, as we get into it here, drop a comment down below about the biggest rookie mistakes that you or one of your buddies has made when it comes to buying wheels and tires for your truck, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's made a couple of mistakes at one point in my life. It just happens, okay? Now listen, I don't want to say that we know a thing or two about wheels and tires, but when it comes to wheels and tires, we know a thing or two. After all, when you have somewhere north of like 40,000 different wheels and tires in your warehouse from all sorts of manufacturers, including the ones that you guys love, you tend to learn a few things about the differences in each and every product. One of the first big mistakes that even some of the pros make when it comes to buying wheels and tires is not knowing that all tires are in fact not created equally. That's a lot. Let me explain here for a second. When it comes to tires, there are several different sizes available for you to choose from. You're gonna have things like your standard sizing, your 33 12.5 R20s, your 35 12.5 R20s, your 37 1350 R24s if you're into that really big stuff, right? But you also have the LT metric sizes like a 285/50 R20 or a 355/40 R20 and all sorts of numbers, right? That's not important. What is important is when shopping for tires, typically we shop for the size that we know will fit. If you're looking for a 35 12.5 R20 because it's what you had before, you're gonna look for it again. Now, specifically talking about 33s for an example here, depending on what brand of tire you go with for your new set of 33s, some of them may measure out to be 32 inches in diameter. Some of them are gonna measure out to be 33.5 inches in diameter, and we've even some extreme cases where tires actually run quite a bit larger than their advertised size, and they come in at a 34 or a 34.25 in diameter. While this isn't always an issue if you're looking to run a larger tire in your wheel wells, then you're really going for that stuffed look, then that extra ½ inch can make a big difference. Not like this is the first time we've heard that as a truck owner, but you know, sometimes it really do be like that. Furthermore, a tire may be 35 inches in diameter when it's not on the wheel and not on the truck, but once you actually get it seated to the bead on the wheel and then you mount it to the truck, chances are you're going to see some sidewall squat at the bottom of the tire because you know it's lugging around a little bit of weight. This is especially prevalent in diesels because diesel engines are just damn heavy. This sidewall bulging causes a tire to be shorter than the true advertised size and can mean that you're not actually gaining a full inch of ground clearance going from a 33 to a 35, for example, right? Because if you're going up 2 inches, you have half of that on the bottom, half of that on the top, right? An inch and an inch, but you're not gaining any ground clearance from the top, so you only get one. On top of the diameter differences, tire widths can cause some headaches as well if you're looking to buy wheels and tires. When you line up three 35 1250 R20s next to each other in a row and bust out the old tape measure, I wouldn't be surprised to find that not a single one of those actually measures at 12.5 inches wide. This is because while there are general guidelines in the world of tires and regulations, there is no true regulation when it comes to how tires are actually measured across the width of the tire. For this reason, some manufacturers are measuring casting width, which is the width of the actual mold when they're making tires. Other guys are gonna measure the width of the tire sidewalls, right? So the outside to outside with no actual tread pattern. And then some guys are actually going to measure the actual tread width of the tire as well. Typically, some of the more budget-minded tires are gonna run a little bit on that smaller side, while tires like the Big Daddy Ridge Grappler and Trail Grapplers are gonna run true to size or even a little bit larger than that. Additionally, another company who typically runs really square is Venom Power. Seriously, if you guys have ever seen some of Venom Power's 14.5-inch wide tires, then you know what we're talking about here. Those 1450s we put on Taylor's truck last year looked like a damn steamroller coming down the road, so if that's what you're into, they might be a good option for you. Here's another one that you guys may not have thought of. When you're looking at wheels and tires, there's going to be a good chance that you're probably gonna look at the load rating of those tires. This load rating is gonna be a letter, usually between C and F on truck tires or A and E on car tires, and it designates how many plies or sheets of rubber are layered together, you know, on like the sidewall of a tire and the overall tire construction. When I was a wee young lad, everyone, and I mean everyone, talked about how you had to have E-rated tires. If you wanted to tow, you had to have E-rated. E-rated this, E-rated that. Can I get some E-ratings, please? This simply meant that the E-rated tires consisted of 10 total plies of rubber in the construction. And while E may be for everyone in video games, it's definitely not for everyone when it comes to wheels and tires. The issue here is that E-rated tires may have the same plies on the sidewall, but they definitely don't all have the same rating when it comes to weight capacity. Quite simply, the quality of the materials, how dense the rubber is, what else it's mixed with, and things like that nature are really what determine what the load carrying capacity, otherwise known as load index, of a tire truly is. For this reason, if you're shopping for your second, your third, your fourth, or even your fifth set of wheels and tires, it's a good call to make sure that you look at that little load rating index before you pull the trigger on a new set. Also, fun fact for you here, if you're on the Custom Offsets website and you pick a tire that maybe isn't load indexed for what your truck needs, we'll actually throw you a warning that says, hey guy, you probably don't want these. Here's why. How neat is that? And last but definitely not least, one of the most critical mistakes that you guys can make, even if you're a pro when you buy wheels and tires, is to not get them mounted and balanced for free at CustomOffsets.com. Seriously, ladies and gents, if you've never struggled with this before, let me help you out here. There's nothing wrong with buying your wheels and tires separately, all right? You do what you gotta do. Where it gets tricky though is that once your wheels and your tires arrive at your house, they're separated, so you gotta have some space to put them, meaning that they're going to take up space in your garage, which means then that your nice truck is parked outside, much like my Duramax right now in the snow, and I hate it. This is until you can get them taken care of course. Furthermore, once they both arrive, then you gotta take a day off of work, you gotta load the wheels in the bed of the truck, then you gotta load the tires in the bed of the truck, then you gotta run to your local tire shop, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road, and then you gotta unload all of it that you just loaded up, and then give them to the tire guy, and pray to dear God that the new hired hand that's behind the counter doesn't scratch the hell out of your new TIS wheels when he's putting your ridge scraps on them. It's stressful, and you don't want it. Let us make it easy on you here. If you pick up a set of wheels and tires, we'll mount them, we're gonna balance them, we're gonna ship them to your door for free at Custom Offsets. It's so easy. Regardless if this is your first set of wheels and tires or your 15th set of wheels and tires, it is a good idea to remember that not all tires are gonna be created equally, right? Some are gonna be taller than others, and when it comes to width, you're going to want to have a tape measure. Better yet, if you need wheels and tires, you can get them over at CustomOffsets.com. What's the biggest mistake you guys have made when buying wheels and tires? Drop a comment down below, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm Dustin with Custom Offsets. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.